How
Mic
about you?
drop. So I want to say conditions are not conditional.
Whoop! Ask an Auntie Oracle what you want to know. Ask an Auntie Oracle. Hello! Happy 2026 Gregorian New Year! I know you missed us. Well, we have been steady cooking.
Mm,
The Auntie Oracles have been in the spiritual kitchen making the soul food to prepare for y'all.
hmm
And we knew a couple of weeks ago that we wanted our episode to be about expansion.
Yes.
And we had initially told y'all that we're going to drop this after hours episode in mid December.
hmm
We're recording this on January 1st.
Yes.
And part of the first lesson with the expansion has been to take our time and setting the pace with our time to really receive all the
hmm
downloads so that we knew what we were going to talk about with
hmm
y'all.
hmm
So, this is one part of the unlearning. You know, false urgency is a characteristic of white
Mm,
supremacy, which we need to unlearn.
yeah.
So, even if we might say, okay, we plan to do this by this time, part of the unlearning is being expansive, open to being flexible. By the time you get to that time, where is your energy at?
Mm,
So
yes.
what we had to do is be like,
Yes.
during those times, there were things going on in our lives. We're like, we're not ready to record
Yeah.
just yet.
Yeah.
Because we were literally living out
hmm
this lesson of
hmm
expansion
hmm
in real time.
hmm
Y'all, it's crazy. It's wild how Mary and I were talking about we would get a download and we would immediately apply the lesson.
Yes. Yes.
Immediate application,
hmm
immediate integration. Boop,
hmm
boop. And because of that, just because, like we said we're going to do it
hmm
by a certain time, we've had to learn to integrate that lesson of, okay, expansion means we need to be flexible and honest about where our energy capacity is at.
hmm
And if we're truly going to share this with our community, we have to know what that feels like and live that.
Mm,
We can't teach what we don't know.
yeah.
And in order for us to know it, we have to live it. So Mary and I have been cooking up all of these messages and downloads for y'all because we've been having to live the lesson of expansion in
hmm
real time
hmm
in these past couple of weeks, especially. So, with that being said, I wanted to like share and ask Mary,
hmm
what, because she has a really, I think, important definition. The Auntie Oracles, we're going to clarify what does this mean? And then how does this look like?
Yes.
And then why is this important as a
hmm
part of the unlearning practice?
Yes. Thank you, Maio. Happy Gregorian New Year. And I hope that you all have had a season of sitting with and expanding with yourselves, including meaning giving yourself permission to close out old cycles based on metaphysically. I understand nothing about really radio waves or how any of this works, and yet I understand it when I transfer it metaphysically.
Mm.
So, one of the schoolings that I've been getting, because the greatest teachers are those who are lifelong learners and students. And so, for me, one of those words that opens up expansion is curiosity for me, and really wondering and really saying, why? And one of the downloads that I received is that I've been receiving over and over and over again is everything is energy. And energy travels faster than the speed of anything that we could possibly record, including the speed of sound or light. And it travels through what's called frequencies. We think about the major kind of energetic centers of the bodies, which are kind of the seven major hubs that we refer to as the seven chakras, but we have way more than seven, right? And so I think of energy, everything is energy, and then the way that it transmits instantaneously is through frequencies. And so expansion is a particular kind of frequency.
Mm-hmm.
What we mean by this is there are an endless, infinite number of possibilities. We know that energy, that matter is not solid at all, that it is made up of energy. And sometimes it functions like a particle, and sometimes it functions like a wave. And so I think of frequencies and that we're constantly, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we're conscious of it or not, whether we're intentional about it or not, we are constantly emitting whatever frequencies are within us based on our emotions, which are literally energy in motion. And depending on what's happening, whatever we lock into, whatever we sink into, it's amplifying particular kinds of frequencies within us. And remember, frequencies are boundless, they're infinite, there's all kinds of frequencies. Expansion is a very specific kind of frequency, and there are certain conditions that when we sit with ourselves, Maio talks about this a lot in relation to conscious relationship building and this amazing, it's really a philosophy, it's really an ethos, it is a way of being and of living and of doing, is what are the conditions? And this is the curiosity part.
Mm-hmm.
This is what opens my mind, my consciousness, my heart to what are the conditions that help me intentionally amplify the frequency of expansion, of abundance. And so when we're talking about expansion, we're talking about it in the context of it is not the only kind of energy, it's not the only kind of frequency. And we are specifically intentionally honing in and choosing to amplify the frequency of expansion, especially for this Chinese lunar year of the fire horse, right? Which is an acceleration of the pace and of the rate of change. And so when Maya, you're talking about, it's like we get a download, we say, okay, we're going to be about expansion. Okay, here are the lessons. And then the integration is now sit with this, reckon with this, think about what this means. That's where self awareness comes in and is so critical. And then put it into practice, which is the integration.
Yeah.
Applying the wisdom, the medicine, the knowledge specific to us, specific to, we know actually what it feels like in our bodies, what kind of frequencies we're on, what kind of frequencies we're amplifying. And then, so how do we get from, so the baseline is, okay, this is what's all the things that are going on, like everything all at once
Mm-hmm.
inside of me. And I know what is expansion. It feels more open, right? It's literally, it's not tight. It's not closed in. It's not restricted. It's the opposite of stress. Think about hypertension. It's hyper stress.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does to our hearts is it can literally constricts our physical and our energetic or spiritual blood vessels. So it cuts off the flow of the oxygen, i.e., the energy. Now, expansive energy, like I've already said, expansion, it's not tight, it's not closed in. We're not doing this. So, in some ways, expansion in some ways does feel for me synonymous with abundance
Yes. Let's get
because
into
it's
that. Yeah.
opening everything up.
Yeah.
There are frequencies that do the opposite of that. And it's not about, and what I mean by frequencies or what I mean by energy and motion is where when you talk about breathing, when you talk about the box breaths to reach that condition.
Yeah.
Because I'm increasingly treat my emotions like what they are, energy and motion. I observe them, I sit with them, I tend to myself, I breathe. I don't tighten up and restrict like I used to out of fear.
So this is like step one. What Mary is saying. It's like step one, sacred pause,
Mm-hmm.
tap in, self awareness. What energies am I holding right now? And Mary says this thing about how your emotions are energy in motion and our body is an antenna, right? Of like what energy frequencies are we um kind of like the waves of the energy,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like, for example, if you witness someone do something crazy on the road,
Oh,
right,
oh.
your body tenses up, antenna, right, your body saw that, you use your sense of sight, you saw that happening, and then your body gives an immediate reaction or impulse,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's an energy, an emotion that's moving, an energy in motion, an emotion of I'm agitated,
Mm-hmm.
I'm defensive,
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's like that self-awareness scan of what energy am I holding right now, right? And if you then here comes the intention. Well, do you want to be in that space?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that energy in you? Like, do you want to cultivate the energy of tenseness, of
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, of
Mm-hmm.
fear? And if the answer is no, well, what then do you want? So I
Mm-hmm.
would say that the second step is like, okay, now that I'm self aware of what
Mm-hmm.
emotion I'm carrying
Mm-hmm.
and what's moving through my body, that energy is in motion. That emotion is moving now
Mm-hmm.
through my body,
Mm-hmm.
different places in my body, etc. Now that I'm aware of it, what is now my intention with it?
Mm-hmm.
What do I want to do with that energy?
Mm-hmm.
Then you start to tap into the conscious relationship, the building
Yes.
of consciousness of, okay, what do I want to do with this energy, and how do I move towards the energy that I actually want to be in?
Mm-hmm.
What conditions are needed
Mm-hmm.
in order for that energy to be the one that I cultivate, to be the one that I hold?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Mary was starting to get into the
Mm-hmm.
conditions. So, for example, this, you want to cultivate the energy of expansiveness,
Mm-hmm.
which is abundance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be in, you know, prosperity wise,
Mm-hmm.
material wealth, abundance in what Mary is saying, her curiosity is that
Mm-hmm.
form of
Mm-hmm.
abundance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like, how do I create more choices for myself?
Yes.
So
Yes.
can you talk about this like condition of how curiosity
Mm-hmm.
creates the conditions
Mm-hmm.
for your expansiveness?
Yeah. Yes. I want to go back to what you were saying because breaking that down so clearly. Ooh, you're cooking.
Mhm.
So, with the emotions of fear, anger, which is not the same thing as resisting, this is our survival instinct.
Yes.
When something like when you're saying our body is an antenna and our emotions are the energy in motion that are picking up
Yes.
on, because we're always in relation with ourselves and also with our environment, with all of the conditions that are happening outside of ourselves. And so it's this beautiful dance and this beautiful integration. And so these, again, the feelings in terms of the emotions themselves are, I pause, that's the sacred pause, because I'm not fighting the emotions, I'm listening to what they're telling me.
That the emotions are messengers.
They're
Remember that.
messengers.
Yeah.
They're messengers.
Yeah.
And it's letting me know, oh, there's danger.
Yes.
There's a person driving in a way that's creating a greater likelihood of an accident,
Yes.
of physical harm, of harm to my vehicle or into my person, and to, when you're in the car with me or when any. So the feelings are, so I'm like, so what I want to do is, how do I want to channel these messengers
That.
that are accurately telling me, oh, there's danger? Do I want to channel them by reacting, by possibly creating more danger? Or do I want to channel the anger, the fear, the um, all of that into, okay, I'm going to channel this energy so that it can move me
Mhm.
to take an action
That.
that it's going to lessen the danger and secure the safety. It's how do we channel it? And part of me, for the sacred pause, because I know myself, self awareness is, when I get angry and I get activated, I go into fight mode.
Yeah.
I don't go into flight. I don't go into freeze. I don't go into fawn. I go into fight mode.
Yeah.
And so I sit with myself so that I can, in that moment, I'm pausing because there's a part of us that's connected to the emotions and the messengers
Mm.
that I tend to, that part of me and is saying, yes, it is dangerous. Yes, this person is whatever they're doing. I hear you, I see you, and what I'm going to do is we're pausing right now. After that, I'm like, okay. Literally, this example was we were coming out of a gas station, already turning right. I intentionally, so the first thing, condition, I intentionally scoped out the environment, the situational awareness,
Mm-hmm.
connect it with self awareness. I'm good for me, knowing myself, knowing my skills, knowing my limitations, knowing what's going to feel more secure for me is I'm going to turn in a way where I immediately am in the right lane to turn right at this light. This other car came from all the way across the street, across two lanes, and was like, so Maio said, I stopped. I just paused to, okay, these actual, of course, what's going to get activated is a frequency of fear, is a frequency for me of anger, because the messenger is there's danger. Yes. There's immediate danger.
Yeah.
If I had not paused, what that car ended up doing was it came all the way over, not into one of the other two lanes of ongoing traffic, but all the way into the right turning lane without stopping. If I had not paused, that car would have gone collided with me on the passenger side. So that's like a literal example of the conditions.
Yeah.
And how it wasn't the feelings or the energy I was trying, like, I understand, like, that's survival instinct. We need that. Yes. We've evolved these messengers over the duration of millions of years. It's how we consciously, intentionally then channel that energy to take a particular kind of action to amplify that frequency of abundance, which was, I'm going to open up so that I can make the choice that's going to keep me and Maio safe.
Yes.
And that's going to get us fucking home, because we were driving from LA.
And that's that. Notice how Mary in that story shared how from the context was the driving, the conditions that she made to try to be safe as she was exiting from a gas station. And even if you set a condition of I am intentionally making moves to be safe, you have no control over what other people are going to do, i.e., doing things that are not safe, right? Like coming in across 3 lanes on the other side of the street, directly about to hit us. And so Mary's sacred pause honestly prevented the collision from happening. And so what I'm trying to say is, like, as the other car was coming, our emotions gave us that message: there's danger approaching us. The sacred pause is literally like, no, notice what's coming up, scan what's going on, see the context, see the conditions you have to work with, and how do we move this energy from one of danger, fight mode, into one of our original intention of safety. And sometimes all it is don't do shit. Don't react to it. Literally, Mary just hit the brakes, not even in a screeching halt kind of way. Just like, okay, we're here. And she even put her arm like this with me, just as a
The
also,
mom bar.
yeah,
It's all like, yeah, the
to
mom.
keep someone
The
safe.
mom does that,
Hey,
and it's, yeah,
making
yeah.
sure we're safe. Now, how do you take something like that and put it in a different context? For example, with people,
How do you do that, Maio?
interpersonal relationships. Here's where the sacred, that's why I was like, step one, self awareness. Step one, self awareness. And what are the conditions that create self awareness? Take a sacred pause. For me, the sacred pause when it comes to people is I let them show me who they are.
Woo!
I don't react. I literally am just there observing how they move. And I don't react to it. Emphasis on that. I don't react to it. I observe how they move and I observe what's happening inside of me as I'm observing them. Here's the example. She shared with me that she wants to meet up with me. She's seeking my support with something. I agreed. That was my choice. I gave my consent, and I set the conditions for that to happen. Sent a Google Calendar invite, messaged on the day, hey, just checking in. Are we going to go and talk on the phone today or go on Zoom today? And every single time I had set a calendar invite to her and she accepted the calendar invite, meaning she gave her consent to agreeing to meet up with me on this date and this time, three consecutive times across 3 weeks.
Mhm.
And then every day when it right before the call or the meetup would happen, I would check in again, another condition, setting it up like, okay, this is how I make sure that I'm living in integrity with my agreement. When I say that I'm going to connect with someone, I'm checking in with them. Hey, just want to confirm, right? And those are conditions I need
Mhm.
for me. I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for me. I like confirmation. I like verbal confirmation. I like checking in. And every single time I would check in, this person had a different reason for not being able to connect with me
Mhm.
every single time. And I'm noticing the emotions rise in me. So I'm observing their actions and then I'm observing my emotions. Sacred pause, self awareness. The first thing that came up for me is this isn't about me. This is about this person choosing to do this. It's not because they don't like me. It's not because da da da. Like it's not something basically about something I did to them. This is a pattern of behavior that I have been noticing with this person for years.
Mhm.
And they know that they do this pattern of behavior. They have verbally told me that they acknowledge that they do this and that other people have complained to this person
Mm.
that they do this with them. So there is a mutual understanding that this is a pattern of behavior that happens. And then I had to check in with me, am I okay with that?
Mm.
At this present moment, am I okay with this person consistently showing me a pattern of behavior um, that shows that they're not living in integrity with the agreements that they're making with me? I'm not even thinking about the other people they didn't,
Mm.
meet
Mhm.
up with too. I'm just
Mhm.
thinking with me. And I was just like, well, I made an agreement with myself that this would be the last time
Mhm.
I set a boundary. I was like, okay, now that we know that this is this the pattern of behavior, this is the emotion that comes up for me. This is not even about me. This is how this person moves. I still have care and love with for this person. I do like connecting with them when
Mhm.
we do connect, but I don't like that this is the pattern of behavior that I'm um experiencing with this person. So what are the conditions I need to create so that that no longer happens? And that required a boundary, and that boundary was with me.
Mhm.
It wasn't something like, you can't talk to me like this, or I don't
Mhm.
like that you're
Mhm.
doing this and that. It wasn't external. It was a boundary I didn't even need to tell this person. It was a boundary with me and how I engage with this person. I was like, okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done initiating the reach out, initiating Google Calendar invites, initiating the check in confirmation checks, texts. I'm done. These are the conditions I'm setting for myself when I have a connection or relationship with someone. And if I put in my 100% of my
Mhm.
50% of that interaction, okay, check, check, check. I fulfill those conditions. And then I rally the ball back to the other
Mhm.
person and they consistently do not meet me in those conditions and also don't tell me anything about like, hey, I just need a little bit more support in this way, da da da, right? They're not telling me their conditions,
Mhm.
then I can't meet them where
You
they're
can't.
at.
Yeah.
I accept that this is my boundary and that I need to step away from this friendship in this kind of way, but I'm also still expansive.
Mhm.
I'm not going to block this
Mhm.
person. If they do reach out to me, I will always reply back to them.
Mhm.
And I'm going to tell them, you know, these are the conditions of why I might not be able to talk to you. I'm not waiting for them to do what I want them to do.
That part.
I'm telling them, here's my conditions of what that allows me to show up, and these are some limitations that I'm experiencing, which is preventing me from showing up. This is what I actually want.
Yes.
I'm moving my energy towards that by setting these types of boundaries
Mm-hmm.
with people. It
Mm-hmm.
seems counterintuitive because people think of boundaries as restrictions when really they're literally the conditions of what you need in order to show up for you and the other person. That's the reframe.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unlearning. That's why it's expansive. Because now that I have named my conditions to be able to show up for relationships in certain ways, now I know what kind of
Mm-hmm.
relationships I want to be part of. And I know what I need to cultivate in myself in order to show up
Yes.
for myself so that I can show up for other
Yes.
people. How
Mic
about you?
drop. So I want to say conditions are not conditional.
Whoop!
Here's why. What is the holy grail of expansiveness, of giving ourselves the full permission and being vulnerable and open to share that clearly with those that we are in relationship with. These conditions open up and expand a space beyond me over here and you over there.
Yes.
And it not only expands that space for us to meet in the middle if we so choose. I show up fully as myself. What does that mean? You are having the sacred pause. You are cultivating the self awareness by this is what it means for me to be showing up fully as myself because this is what I want. This is what I need to do that. Again, like when someone reaches out to you, you respond.
That's openness. That's
That's
expansiveness.
openness. You're
Yeah.
not, and it's the reason why you've expanded beyond making it about yourself. You shared, just like in the car, there's self awareness, and then there's the situational awareness and the conditions of everyone else. And so, like, oh, this person does this consistently with everyone. Duly noted. It's not about me. So that allows you to expand in, like, oh, I'm not taking this personally because it's not about me.
Hmm.
And I'm also not making me being self aware, me being honest about what I really want and what I really need to show up fully about what they're doing or not doing with someone else.
Hmm.
It's simply information and observation.
Yep. It's just information,
It's
y'all.
just information. And what also, the third thing that is so expansive is by being so clear about who you are
Mm.
and what you need to be able to be fully yourself in relationship with this person or anyone else, you also don't feel the resentment because it's nobody owes us anything.
That,
We are not entitled
yes.
to anyone's energy
Yes.
or anyone's time, just like they are not entitled to ours.
Yes.
What makes it so incredibly precious is that it truly is a gift.
Hmm.
And so it's like, here I am. I'm here, I'm open, and I also deeply honor your choice to show up however you do. You continue to be you. It's not an alignment, it's two different frequencies. It's like tuning into a radio station,
Yeah.
old school, analog.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all, we're on two different frequencies. I don't get mad at someone exercising their full selfhood and their sovereignty or their choice to be amplifying whatever frequencies they want to. I'm like, oh, this we're not on the same frequencies. You're simply accepting we're not on the same frequency. So instead of trying to force it, you're respecting yourself. And when you respect your boundaries, your conditions, which just means this is who I am, this is showing up fully as myself, that is vulnerability, that is intimacy, by communicating that with someone. And the reason why it doesn't sting for me, I don't know about you, is because I also am then able to fully respect and honor whatever choices they make
Yes.
because that's the frequency that they choose. And that's all. That's it.
It took some time.
It takes a long time. It sounds
I'm
really.
gonna admit that
It's taken me
sting.
years,
That
and
sting
some of the
was
feelings,
there. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
right. That's also real. And
Yeah.
so again, When I'm talking about frequencies of what we're intentionally or the choices that we're making, we are still also always getting that information from our
Yeah.
feelings.
On this tip, since I gave this example of,
Mhm.
expansion
Mhm.
in terms of my friendships,
Mhm.
I'm curious, and with your consent, would like to ask you about your experience with dating. Because now Mary's back on
The dating apps,
the dating
one
apps,
in particular.
y'all.
So what I want to say is I just had my birthday on the winter
Yes.
solstice. I
Happy
turned 57.
birthday! 57. Can y'all believe? 57.
So I started my first boyfriend was when I was 17, and I first became, sexually intimate with someone at 19. So basically, I have been dating for 40 years.
Hmm.
So for me, my context is the vast majority of my dating life has been strictly IRL. It's been in real life. It was never through dating apps. The first time I got on the dating apps was actually in 2017. And I had at that point, so that was
Almost 9 years ago.
almost 9 years ago. So that was 30 plus years or however many decades of dating before. So the first self awareness that I recognized when I got on the dating apps is that the context had changed form, how I showed up, how I engaged,
Hmm.
the choices that I made, the boundaries that I observed or did not observe within myself I just carried them right over. Forward to I just got on a particular dating app that I had been hearing about. And again, I sat with for almost 2 years because I've been hearing really positive things about Facebook dating. And I had specifically heard them from women that were very similar to me. They were Black, dynamic, educated, unapologetically Black women, right? And they were significantly younger than me. Um, and so they were a lot more adept, right, with the technology. And from February of 2022 to December of 2022 was the last time I was on the dating apps.
Hmm.
And so I took a long break and I recently got back on because I had met the second Black woman and and she had told me about Facebook dating. And I said, you know, you're the second person that's told me about this. I've been very curious about it. And so when I first heard about Facebook dating over like a year and a half ago, I first went to the URL and I couldn't figure it out. So then when I met up with this woman, this person who was a lovely person, she's like, oh no, you have to install the app. I'm like, okay. So then I had it from there. More complex examples of we have there's so many different facets to who we are and we don't develop evenly in terms of our regular development, much less our healing.
Mm.
And so, what I mean by that is there's certain parts of me that I've really been able to practice. We've been, getting the downloads as oracles and very practical. Like, how do you integrate the emotional, the spiritual, the intangible in the practical, right? And put it into practice. How do you integrate the 6D into the 3D? And there are frequencies within me or like parts of myself where the feelings, especially based on old patterns, those frequencies have gotten fainter and other frequencies or other parts of me have gotten stronger. But the thing about healing is just like a radio signal. It's not like you turn on a switch and all of a sudden, oh, I'm not doing that thing anymore. The whatever is going on in terms of lack of boundaries, in terms of the conditioning and the programming that to sacrifice my wants, my needs, my very self to whatever someone else wants outside of myself. This is, first of all, a profoundly different experience because just like my decades of meeting people and dating in real life, when I say our interpersonal relationships, we choose them 100%. Critical positionality is our interpersonal relationships. Those are one area that we choose 100%. And the babies are here, they are being drawn. And of course, Patches is my only girl. She's my girl up in here. What I used to tell myself when I was younger, because I had a range of different kinds of relationships, I'm a dirty old auntie too. So I've had monogamous boot up. I've had sneaky links. I've had been the side piece. I've had one night stands. I've had situationships that just should have been one night stands. I've had the range. So what I started realizing is I looked at myself. I said, "Girl, same shit, different dick. Everything is changing except for one factor, and that's me." One of the things I like to do, I have conditions. I like to communicate via on the and I text. And first of all, one condition is, are we kind of does it feel forced? Am I really interested? Are we going back and forth? And then once the messages start turning into two and three and kind of chunks, right, of text, I'm like, oh, I'm curious. I'm really excited because I'm being myself and the person is still, we're still going back and forth. I'll give an example of that. I unapologetically would really like to have date black men. I haven't been with a black man since 2014. When I was in the deep south, when I was on the East Coast, um, it was the full range. The further I come out west, the less and less and less black men date black women. Not exclusively, but like in Arizona, it was really a trip, right? And so ever since then, the men that have been checking for me, because I'm cishet, not heteronormative, have been every other race of man. And that has changed. And I'm also bilingual. So, ven acá, papi. I says todo. No pasa nada. So, and so I worked through a lot of things. Now that I'm in California, as I was telling Maio, what's really refreshing is there's so much range and there's so much diversity. And there are also a lot of black men checking for black women as well. And so I've been so clear about that. And for the first time ever in my life on any dating app, the majority of men stepping to me are black, which is really interesting to me. So I'm like, this is really interesting.
Once you defined that condition and intention, because it's one thing to say what your condition is, but do you know why you're saying that? That's intention now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do know why.
So can I ask why?
Yeah.
Why did you want to intentionally date black men this time around?
I wanted to intentionally date black men around because it has been so long. I wanted to intentionally date black men because the vast majority of my relationships and my most substantive, strongest relationships with the strongest connections and the strongest affinity have been with black men.
Okay.
I want to date black men this go around because specifically being in California, which has so few black people and which is very anti-black in so many ways, I really want that kind of, I don't know how to put it. It's this understanding that's so deep. I'm not having to explain. I'm not having to teach.
Oh, that's so real.
About my culture, about like black men understanding black immediately when I walk outside with my natural hair that I have not worn out naturally since 2017 when I discovered wigs. Nobody else understands the significance of that other than black women and black men. I want to date black men this go around also because of what I actually, thank you, just alluded to, a deeper level of healing the anti-blackness within myself.
Woo! What a powerful intention.
It takes many different forms. Oh. The full claiming of fully who I am in my incarnate form, which is loving myself and loving my natural hair without reservation. And that took a lot of healing. And it took a lot of sitting with and being radically honest with very, very uncomfortable and accepting very uncomfortable beliefs that I had internalized about myself. So, what do I mean by that? I did not know. I've worn my hair every kind of way, almost bald. My mother bleached my hair. I won't do that again. I'm not gonna bleach. I can't. My hair can't stand no bleach. My mother put a relaxer in my hair when I was 6 years old. I did the big chop when I was 28 in 1997. We didn't know anything right about natural, literally. And the further I came out to West over time, again, this was not if this was not a belief that was introduced to me just from leaving. This was something, the anti-blackness is really insidious, is concluding the internalized anti-blackness from the time as young as I could remember. So it was that frequency was already in me. Those beliefs were already in me.
Mm.
That programming was already in
Mm-hmm.
me. And the further I came out away from where at least I was getting the full range within deeply historically rooted in really rich Black cultures within the US, and not having that, the further out I came west, southwest, into the west, means I was getting more of the emphasis on the anti Blackness from the outside that was then reinforcing and amplifying my internalized anti Blackness that had been passed down for generations. So, one of the messages I got early on from my Black girlfriends were, Mary, you don't have no booty. You are big boobs and all legs. White men will love you.
Anti-blackness.
It's internalized anti Blackness. And so I knew that I was like, well, I want to give myself a more mixed aesthetic. I'm intentional. I would be intentional about the kind of wigs that I would choose because, and I would know that people would often mistake the wigs, unless they were Black, for my real hair because of my color, right? Because of my freckles. They would automatically assume that that was my hair. Whereas if I had been dark or I had been, they would not. This is the radical, when I talk about radical acceptance and self awareness, there is no self awareness without the deepest level of truth telling and
Yes.
accepting that and not judging that.
Yes.
I was like, I'm literally teaching Black studies, right? I am aware of the contradiction as a Black woman, the only Black woman faculty member on my campus who teaches Black studies and not wearing my natural hair. And not just not wearing my natural hair, the reasons why I was covering up my natural hair. Going through all of that internal unlearning, which is actually so much more active
Mm-hmm.
and so much more of an in depth process of literally sitting with all of the programming, all of the feelings, right, that come up around how these messages are imposed upon us, right, generations after generation after generation, and still happening. That's a lot of reckoning. That's a lot of self awareness. That's a lot of sacred pausing. And quite frankly, it is because of also having a framework like conscious relationship building to be able to clarify and, oh, this is how I do this, and this is what it looks like about me. So it clarifies and it really helps me be able to consistently cultivate this relationship with myself by putting in these actual steps every single time. And the ultimate reason why I want to date a Black man is because of me reclaiming the beauty and the worthiness and the brilliance of my Blackness,
Love.
of my Blackness.
Black
If
love.
I had not if I had not been going through that, I would not. I would just be like, I probably no. Let's. I don't care. Like I'm
Yeah.
just. Let's just roll. And again, I'm not. I am not closed. It's not either or. It's expansive. So it keeps on being and. But so these are just a couple of ways that even before I've gotten on the dating app, the intentions around the conditions that I want. And thank you for this because I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Because it's actually a reflection of my inner relationship with myself and my own
That
Blackness.
that And that's the expansive
It's
piece, y'all.
expensive.
Because it can, on the surface, this sounds counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Mary is intentionally seeking to date black men, which sounds restrictive, but really it's expansive because the intention is for her to heal and love the blackness in herself. You see the difference? Like on the surface, it
Mm-hmm.
seems like only dating a particular type of racial category and gender identity sounds restrictive,
Mm-hmm.
sounds limiting. But in fact, the intention is expansive.
Mm-hmm.
And the intention being expansive, like you were just saying,
Mm-hmm.
the conditions are
And
and
and and
because
I'm not
it's
closing
not
myself
just
off.
black, the
No,
blackness
no.
of men.
Right.
So that's why I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, how has it been going now that you
Yes.
have been
Okay.
talking to some black men?
How it's been going has been really interesting because I've had the opportunity. So when I like the one thing is the communication. So when we're okay, now it's like let's talk on the phone. Again, it's like it's not. It has to be this or it has to be that. Now, it's about I like to slow down the process, and part of knowing is this person isn't really maintaining the communication on the app, so then I get bored instead of being like I just want to. I just know. So then like when I'm really genuinely when my curiosity is being satisfied, I'm like I'm even more curious. So now I want to talk to you. You see, I'm not setting a time. I'm not setting we have to do this many of this. It's like it's a flow, but it's also, well, first of all, are we even really communicating? Or am I holding up? Right? Am I doing more, trying to do more than my 100% of my 50% of that exchange? And when we're meeting halfway like that, and I feel the energy, and
Now there's those
now
conditions.
those are conditions.
Yeah.
Another example is where things get a little muddier is when I went on my first date. It was interesting because we didn't have as much of an exchange, and he wanted to talk on the phone. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, one thing is, one condition is I'm going to talk on the phone with somebody before I meet them. But when I met him in person, there was a disconnect between how it seemed like, right, it felt like the conversation went. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to slow it down some more for myself.
Yeah.
I think about when I'm getting to know someone in a friendship and we're clicking and I feel the connection. And it is free flowing. And a lot of that comes because we're actually, oh, I'm interested in talking to this person on the phone, whoever it is, under it, whether it's a workship or a community connection or whatever. I'm really curious. For me, it always goes back to the curiosity. Wow, I'm curious. I want to know more about you. Like, I want to know more about your journey. What ultimately ended up happening was I made some choices that I was like, where I really checked in with myself,
Yeah.
where would not, it, where are absolutely no go. But again, because what you're saying is, it seems counterintuitive when we're looking at the outward thing. That is the form. The context is the form. The way that we infuse our intentionality is the energy that we're putting into it.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter actually whether I'm like, I'm only going to date black men or I'm good. That decision, it was how did I come by that choice? I came by that choice into opening up and expanding into years of cultivating the relationship and the self awareness where I was squarely looking at all of the programming around internalized anti blackness in myself.
Mm.
That's and then expanding, unlearning is peeling away the layers of all of that conditioning that's
Yes.
been happening for lifetimes. And so with this gentleman, one of my old ways of engaging is distractions. Is not only using my romantic relationships or situationships for distraction, but also for external validation. And it was also based on trauma. What do I mean by that? Whatever the person was doing, I would follow suit. So one of the first things I observed is I thought that I was meeting with him so that we would go to brunch together. And it was like he never had extended that invitation. So I met him at his house under the belief that then I could go in and use the bathroom and we could go to brunch. He wasn't dressed to go to brunch. He did not even come out to meet me, y'all, from in the car. Now I checked in with myself and I made sure before I was like, are you gonna, I said, actually, yeah. In this instance, yes, it's gonna be okay. So I go in and of course it's, and this is someone who's very passive. And over the course of this interaction, I continued to be myself and I was continuously having this internal communication. So he starts out offering me something to drink. I would like water. I'm like, what else do you have? He's like, well, I have every kind of wine or whatever. I was like, okay, I'll take a little wine. So he proceeds to drink like a fish. When I asked about, and the first thing was options, I was like, I love options. I said it out loud. So what are the options for brunch? He's like, oh, there's the casino. We could go to the sports bar because he was watching football. I know this energy very well. And I'm like, and I knew, I was like, no, first of all, I don't want to go to a sports bar. Not in a casino. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be more drinking. I'm like, I want to observe him in his natural habitat. And so I expanded into, oh, not to the point where I'm going to pay all that money. So I was like, oh, who's playing? One of the Eagles are playing? Jalen Hurt? Oh, come through, baby. And so I was watching the game, chilling. And then he's like, well, I have a lot of food here. So I'm like, I drive right now. That now I know this. Sometimes we know the conditions by actually being in. By right, we make the road by walking it. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely a condition where I'm going to meet the person halfway, unless it's someplace that I really want to go. And even then, we're going to have to meet each other halfway, right, to get to know each other on the initial end, whoever, whatever kind of relationship. So I'm sitting with myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to drink water and I'm going to drink very, very, very little wine because I am leaving and I'm driving back home. The whole course of the time, another thing, right? Condition. I don't carry the conversation. He doesn't know this. I simply sit back and continue watching the game. And he's looking at me and he's drinking and drinking and then he's starting to fidget. I'm like, you're the one who wants to watch the game. What? I'm so chill. I'm so grounded, right? I'm so present in myself. And this is someone who is profoundly not present. It got to a certain point where we kind of talked about, well, we'll watch something after the game. And then I got into that nice girl, right? Conditioning. Oh, it would be rude for me to. I was like, no, I'm leaving after the game. I want to finish watching the game. This is a good game. And then I'm leaving. And he was, oh, I said, yeah, I walk outside. He follows me outside like a puppy dog. You couldn't even come out to greet me, but you're going to, oh, and I hug him. I'm like, yeah, it was nice. Thank you. Bye. He's like, oh. I felt so good. I felt so happy, expansive. I didn't see it as a failure. I checked in with myself, and this is the oracle. This is a deeper level. Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. It takes. I really checked into myself, and I discern. I'm like, no, do this, do that. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And now the conditions are no. I'm meeting you halfway. Oh no, we're meeting in public at the spot. I don't care where it is. You don't. It's not about the last time of being on an app, right? It's not the apps. It's not about oh my god in terms of dating because we're not compartmentalized, we're not fragmented. I'm like, I have grown so much. And then there were certain frequencies, right? There were certain things that were coming up for me that I was like, oh, that I was even seeing, that I was sensing energetically in the space. This is going somewhere else. I'm channeling now, I'm oracling. Don't get caught up in the form that the energy takes. Don't get caught up in the context of something. And understand how truly powerful and limitless we are. I don't know who needs to hear this. We talking about dating. If you want to date, don't do this at home. This is discernment that I'm talking about. I'm talking about sit with the fear. And on the other side, for the XYs or anyone who identifies with that mask energy, going around thinking that you can't meet the right one. We talking about dating, right? Everyone's like, all this, it's wonderful. I'm having a wonderful time.
As a as a Mary
Thank
interpreter
you, because
of some
I was
kind.
chanting that the oracle spirit came in, baby. It came in. It took over. Go ahead, girl. I don't know where that came from.
Mary from okay, this is what I'm interpreting from this. In terms of dating, which is you're seeking maybe, a romantic
Mm-hmm.
or more intimate,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even physical
Mm-hmm.
relationship with someone
And
else
friendship.
and
I'm
friendships,
truly intimate, truly whatever,
some
but
type of
some
connection
type of
that's
connection.
deeper or not even deeper, just like you're searching to be
I'm
connected
not a
with
walking
someone.
vagina.
There you go.
I want it. It's got to be integrated. It's got to be the whole person, not just the
Yes.
pussy. Okay.
So we're talking about conditions, right,
Right.
that create the expansive energy frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mary is giving this like forewarning.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of us who were socialized as female,
Mm-hmm.
we were programmed to believe that our value and worth was attached to someone else being attracted to us.
Yes.
And what she's forewarning us about is like the thing that's underlying the emotion of
Mm-hmm.
that programming is you're afraid to actually like be with yourself or and
Yep.
identify the conditions
Yes.
that you want to be
Yes.
in connection with someone else,
Because
and
that
that
goes against the programming.
and because the program is telling you,
You don't.
someone else needs to tell you what you're
Yes.
worth, someone else needs to say you're cute,
Yes.
smart,
Yes. It
etc.,
has
right?
nothing to do with what you really want.
Yes, and because you are conditioned to believe that, there's this fear now of like, I'm afraid to be myself
That part.
because this person might not like that.
That part.
And so what Mary's reminding is, sit with the fear though.
Yeah. Oh, sit with
what
it.
what is the fear
Yeah.
actually trying to tell you? Again, we talked about emotions are messengers. When we say sit with the fear, we don't mean go to the sunken place with it. don't
No.
don't be in despair with yourself. It's, what are you trying to teach me about
About
myself?
myself.
For me, and Mary and I talk about this, is getting to the root. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what taught me this?
Mm-hmm.
Because once you're able to make the discernment of how you were programmed to fear, you start creating a delineation between external voices and your voice. Because if you were taught to fear knowing who you are,
Your feelings. If you grow up in abuse and you're having actually very healthy, really important feelings around the abuse, and you're being told it's all in your mind,
you're gaslit.
that something is wrong with you,
Yeah.
and you're being told that you're crazy, it completely blows the top off of your minds. Your wires are completely crossed.
And you wouldn't come to that realization of
Mm-mm.
like, I got fucked up in my mind
Mm-hmm.
because the people who were supposed to love and protect me,
Mm-hmm.
who brought me into this world, are the ones that are telling me
Mm-hmm.
that I ain't shit. Basically telling me to hate myself.
Yeah.
And that will fuck with your
It will
brain
completely
in
fuck you
terms of now
mentally.
now the context is dating.
Right.
How are your traumas showing up
That part.
in terms of how you choose to move when you
Mm-hmm.
are dating? And that's why we say sit with that fear,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to have that
Right.
introspection of, where did this come from, and how is it influencing how I'm acting right
Mm-hmm.
now? How is it cultivating this pattern of behavior that perpetuates that self-hate and
Mm-hmm.
self-abandonment?
Mm-hmm.
And once you identify, oh, this is the pattern behavior that I do,
Mm-hmm.
that to do that, and then it's drawn from this, you're able to delineate
Mm-hmm.
what was programmed in you
Mm-hmm.
and what is actually you.
Yes.
And that is the
Yes.
key thing here to the
Yes.
expansion, because when you can delineate these things, you can make them distinct. Then you now consciously move towards, hopefully you choose to move consciously towards the direction that's more in line with who you are. That's why Mary, this time around, she admitted, like, this is the first time she's even dated this way, where
Never. I've
she's
never had this experience.
consciously,
On or off dating apps. It's not about the dating apps.
yeah.
It's not about all men, or because maybe the patriarchy and the matrix got everybody fucked up. And there are people that have always been more on the side of the conscious, being aware. And so I'm like, it's a cop out to say, of course, like we it's everything is about balance and integration. Believe me, I understand critical positionality in a nuanced intersectional way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't weaponize critical positionality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't let that be deterministic and just be like, well,
Mm-hmm.
everything is all this. It's like that's a cop out. I get curious about what is going on inside of me specifically. Because what I have experienced truly, and because, right, I explain why. Anyone that I've ever been attracted to on a friendship level, on any level, and that's been drawn to me, we have been in similar places with whatever is happening emotionally, psychologically. And I saw that in my parents. You don't have a super healed person get together with someone who is coming out of trauma. Like for people that these narratives around, well, women are this and that or what, for men it's like, no, it's a cop out from self-awareness. It's a cop out from doing the inner work of who am I, why am I doing this, let me get curious about myself. Because for me, I've had a full range of relationships, including intimate partnerships, that literally reflect the range of possibility and of choice within myself. Everything is a cop out. Everything else is a cop out. Everything else is a lot of noise. I know I'm on social media. I see all of the things. And I'm like, this is such a cop out. It's like expansion. Like I said, I don't do all this or all that. Right, expansion is I'm going to be open. Expansion is, oh, wait a minute. I'm going to be curious about why am I agreeing to do this,
Mm-hmm.
to even meet this person where they are, when I don't want them to come over here and there's this world of options in between. Oh, you know what? I don't judge myself for that. That's another condition that got clarified for me. So I really wanted to say that because I know that there's like, well, you all of these, this, and we saw that in Prince's mono,
Princess Mononoke. We
Mononoke.
just
It's
watched
like
it last
all
night.
humans.
Mary's first
She's
first
a
time.
human. Kill her. She's like, but wait a minute. She's throw a, what the spirit keeps downloading in me is let go of the labels. Don't get caught up in the forms. The energy is everything. So it can
Yes.
seem so. It was, yes. Is it counterintuitive to me for me to go inside of this man's house that I don't know? Yes. What wasn't is I sat with that. I was at the threshold. I felt the energy. This is oracle stuff too. I mean, this is next level stuff. And it was very interesting because the energy of the house invited me in. So it was the process, the discernment, the constant sacred pausing. What else do I know about myself? I knew actually, and I know this is counterintuitive, if we had gone to a sports bar in a casino, I immediately saw myself drinking and smoking at that bar. You saw me the last time we were at a bar watching football. I knew for me that it was easier for me to observe boundaries counterintuitively by going into a stranger's house because I'm fully acknowledging I did that than if I had met them at some casino in a sports bar. Now, what are the alternatives? Obviously, well, and I didn't know what the options were going to be because this person is from that area. So what does that tell me? A condition? I'm going to be like, oh, if we're going to meet here, this is the kind of food I like. I'm going to look up, you have some suggestions. I'm also going to look up some stuff. So there were things that we keep saying counterintuitive because nothing happens from the outside in, it
Yes.
happens from the inside out. So it was the energy that I stepped in, the energy.
Yes.
And guess what? It was very respectful. There was no hard feelings. We're totally in alignment. It was mutual. So I haven't heard from this gentleman and he's not heard from me. And there's no hard feelings.
Yes.
And there's someone else that it's fun. I'm having fun. I'm just getting to know different people and not locking myself into anything.
So,
So I'm gonna
in
in
closing, because I
closing,
know we're reaching the
we're
1.5 hour
yeah,
mark
in
at this
closing,
point,
yeah.
I really want to summarize, synthesize, and bottom
Mm-hmm.
line what Mary has shared because, like, y'all, this is blueprint. This is divine curriculum.
Yeah.
We're putting y'all on game. Context is the form,
Yeah.
the outer form, the external. Context is like dating.
Mm-hmm.
Context is friendships and the communication styles of people.
Yes.
That's outer form. That's external. Conditions is internal. That's self-awareness. That's discernment. That's intuition. What are the conditions that perpetuate this self-abandonment and self-hatred in me? Where did I learn that from? Where did I get that from? How am I continuing this behavior? What are those conditions? And then what are the conditions that are needed to get me to a place where I actually want to be? With Mary sharing, I want to date black men because I want to heal that part of myself that loves my blackness. And I recognize it's not about the outer form of them being black.
Mm-mm.
It's this understanding of our cultural
Mm-hmm.
practices and beliefs, things like our hair and the
Mm-hmm.
meaning of it for
Mm-hmm.
us. That's not the physical melanin color of someone. That's an internal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are conditions.
Mm-hmm.
With me setting my boundaries, those are now conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That is expansive because now it's not just about this person. Now I'm identifying this is what I need to show up, that feels like I'm also not, that feels and cultivates my sense of respect and self love and respect for myself. This is what I need to show up fully
Mm-hmm.
for someone. Conditions. And now we're talking about the energy of expansiveness. And so that layer, so context, outer form, condition, internal,
Mm-hmm.
the energy of expansiveness, we've mentioned several times in this episode, it's about abundance,
Yes.
right? So, what is that for you? For Mary, one of the conditions of abundance is curiosity.
Yes.
Let me get curious about this.
Mm-hmm.
It can seem counterintuitive if you only look at the external form, but really, once you look into the internal, I'm choosing to stay at this stranger's house
Mm-hmm.
because I'm curious about what I can learn from this interaction that's going to make me more clear about the conditions I want to have with myself moving forward as I date people.
And that just happens to be the form that it took in that moment in real time.
Yeah, we're giving
I'm
concrete
not right. It's
examples of
gonna not
this.
always. It's not gonna take that form.
Right?
Right. It's,
And that's what you live, you
right.
learn. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to take that
I'm
form
not.
ever
Not
again,
ever again.
but that form, that
Boy, this is the
context
spirit is talking to
taught
me.
taught you
Yes.
something so
And I.
that moving forward
Yes.
you know what to do now.
Yes.
And that's why
So.
this expansive
Mm-hmm.
energy of abundance, we're not just talking about material wealth, even though I really want to talk about that in a future episode.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but know that it, even the when we talk about abundance, it takes so many different
Forms
forms. Material wealth
is a
is just
form.
one form of abundance. And so if you want, I will leave it with this, if you want to call in material wealth, learn as I do, so I make it rain, universe.
We make it rain over here, baby. All
Yes,
and all the ways.
in all of the ways.
And
You
that's one
need
of
to
them.
be moving in that energy. That frequency is what you should be emitting out from inside out so that the radio waves can meet you and
Mm-hmm.
align. That's universal law.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are things that you can do from an energy of abundance? Meaning, what does that look like for you? What makes
Yeah.
you feel more expansive, more abundant, and like, and then moving that way, moving with that
Mm-hmm.
energy. And you are going to be surprised because this is what's been happening with for me and Mary. The blessings be coming because we amplified that within each other. If, and this has been a wound for me where scarcity mentality from the context of poverty has been something that I've been healing through.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my forms of healing through it is the expansiveness. How can I create more opportunities for myself, right? How can I plant seeds that will cultivate more opportunities for me? What
Mm-hmm.
this look like? Sending emails, sending communications, telling people, hey, I offer workshops and training in these topics. Here's a sample. Here's my website. Here's my one-page business flyer. If you or someone you know are interested in working together and have this need of support, please reach out and let's set up a call. I sent so many messages like that
Mm-hmm.
the
And
past
what
couple of months.
energy? You didn't do it because of
I
desperation.
didn't.
You didn't do it on like time. You did it because, oh,
I have something I can offer
offer. You did it in
from
that
a
energy
place
of
of like
expansiveness and abundance.
I am resourced.
Right.
Here are my
Baby,
resources,
I am that
community.
bitch. This is what I have to offer.
Yes.
And I am one of one because we are each one of one.
Yes.
So it's not begging, because again, that's an outward form it took. And also the energy was in alignment. Well, you didn't, oh my God, I do this. I'm running out of time. I'm so, you did not do it in that energy.
No.
Literally, you could have done the same thing and had two completely different outcomes.
I could have. And I've been in that other
Right? We
outcome.
all have. And that's
Yeah.
how we learn. So it's, right?
And what I will tell y'all is this works. I'm not trying to
Baby,
snake oil y'all right now.
it's not.
The past 6 months, I have not had an employer. I haven't had a W 2 job, not even a part time job. The past 6 months, I have been able to meet my material needs from the wellspring of abundance,
Mm-hmm.
from my own resources, my gifts, my talents, my skills,
Mm-hmm.
my ideas.
We're
That,
going to talk about, you got a setup that many people would kill for.
yes,
At, we'll talk about
yes, in the next
in the
episodes.
next. I'm like, girl,
But I'm
the
saying that, yeah, and I'm
girl.
saying this in closing because I'm trying to tell y'all this expansion energy, it takes so many forms. Don't get caught up in
In
the
the
form.
form.
Come in internally, conscious relationships, self-awareness. What is the energy you want to amplify? And that's what you're going to receive. That's what's going to be expanding for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Mary was like, for y'all XYs and masks, be careful with who you also let in, because those of us who are on this level, we're absolutely going to clock your shit,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to check it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to keep it moving right along. We y'all know 2025, you're the snake. We cut a lot of cords. We left a lot of shitty situations and people
Mm-hmm.
because we got to a frequency in ourselves. It's just like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah.
Sacred, nah, this is not in
And whether
alignment
it,
with the energy I'm trying
and
to
again, whatever
amplify.
form, because it comes in all forms. And we're, whether it's XY, XX, it don't
And
matter.
it don't matter. It's the
Anybody
energy
moving in,
in that energy, and you know it's not in alignment with you.
that's all you need to know.
That's
And
all you
nothing
need to
else.
know.
But when I tell you that's what I'm not curious about,
I'm not
when
curious
I
to get to know
know,
that energy.
I say, I don't do that. I do a lot. There's a lot that I will do. Once I'm legit not curious about something,
It's
peace
a
out.
wrap.
It's a wrap.
Boy,
It's a wrap.
bye. Girl,
Girl, bye.
bye.
Felicia,
Oh,
bye.
the many times I've said that throughout the past year. And even when we be like deuces,
Mm-hmm.
y'all, that's an expansive
It
energy
sure
too. It's
is,
like,
because it's,
woo, I don't have to deal with that shit no more.
woo.
Yeah.
On
Moving
that,
right along.
on that note,
Thank you so
thank
much. And I
you.
hope this was super helpful for
Yes,
y'all.
yes.
This is another After Hours bonus episode that we're sharing on all platforms except for Spotify. Because they
We're
be on
done
their
with
fuck.
Spotify. They
Sorry,
on their
they
fuck
fuck shit.
shit.
Nah, nah, nah.
We're
We ain't.
done. We
So,
divest permanently. I don't.
yes.
Again, when we done, and it's
That,
deuces. That's
that,
it. Bye. No more. I'm reclaiming all my energy and time, everything from that,
yes.
whatever it
So
is.
we are only on Patreon, which you can sign up for a 7-day free membership, access to all of our episodes, contact us, communicate with us directly. After that, it's only $5 a month, and you can help keep supporting us doing this work. And we're also releasing this on our YouTube
YouTube.
channel. So we're going to keep it very simple with what's aligned with
Simple.
our energy. Patreon or YouTube.
Less is more.
Yes.
It's less is more sometimes.
So yeah, thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Let's go
Woo!
for
Fire
the
babies. You
year.
guys.
Ask an Auntie Oracle what you want to know. Ask an Auntie Oracle.
You're searching to be connected.
I'm not a
with
walking
someone.
vagina.
There you go.
I want it. It's got to be integrated. It's got to be the whole person, not
Yes.
just the pussy. Okay.